Lakia, what do you see in Indiana's quarterback when you look at him on film? Obviously, he's kind of new in the job.
Yeah. Well, that quarterback they had, before he got hurt, he was a real good quarterback. The second string guy, he's a good quarterback. He's a real good passer. We just got to get him out of that pocket. Put him in tough situations, make him read defense. And I think we'll be in pretty good position to win this football game.
Did you see that Wisconsin was able to do that, or
Yep.
was he able to sit in the pocket against them?
It was kind of both, really. I only caught like the first half of the game, and he played decent. He didn't play all that good, but he is a good quarterback, and we have to put him in, like, force him out of the pocket, and put him in tough situations.
What do you see as his strengths?
Throwing the ball downfield. They have some big receivers. So, the fade balls, the slants, all those type of throws, the easy throws for him, he capitalizes on those, and he's a pretty decent thrower.
All right, we'll go to David Johnson.
Lakia, I may have missed this, and I apologize if I did, but have you made a definitive decision that you will be coming back to Ole Miss next year yet?
Yeah, yes, sir, I have. I will be coming back next year. I didn't have the season that I wanted to have this year, and I feel like, that I can go in the first 3 rounds. So I'm going to put my all into it next year, see what happens.
Is there an excitement level for you personally to be playing in a bowl game this year?
Yeah, yes, sir. It's really important. I've never been to a bowl game, so, this is a first for me, and I'm excited.
Thank
Really
you.
excited.
All right, we'll go to Nick Suss.
Lakia, Lane has talked a little bit about just some of the veteran guys thinking about opting out of this game. What have you said to your teammates who considered that, and was there ever a point where you kind of considered that?
No, sir. It wasn't a point where I considered that. I'm just telling my teammates, we just got to finish strong. It really doesn't make that much sense to, work out and last this long, just to opt out the last week, So my main thing to tell them, is just to finish strong and let's finish this off the right way so we can come in strong next year.
Have any guys that you've heard of on defense made the decision to opt out, or is people just still kind of on the fence?
They still kind of on the fence, but I'm not gonna give any names, but we just we talking to them about it, and see what happens. Hopefully they stay.
Okay, we'll go to Neil.
Hey, Lakia, I was wondering if you might expound a little bit about talking about the season that you had. Where did you kind of feel like you fell short? What specifically are areas that you feel like you have to improve to achieve that goal of going in the top 3 rounds?
Well, I have to increase my football knowledge. It was a couple times out there on the field where, I didn't know what was going on. And, that's not a good thing for a linebacker I always have to know what's going on. I always have to know what everybody's doing. And it was certain times where I felt like that wasn't the case. So, I didn't come out as strong as I wanted to. I just got to work harder if we're being honest, So I feel like that'll put me in a better position to go in the first 3. So I didn't do that this year. So, I spent more on myself, and this team has spent more on me too. So, that was my decision.
All right, we'll go back to Parrish.
Lakia, are there others on defense that you know about that are considering taking advantage of the extra year and coming back?
No, sir. Not of my knowledge. No, sir.
Thanks.
All right, we'll go to David.
Lakia, you mentioned that there's still a couple of your defensive teammates that are on the fence, as you said. Did those guys practice this morning?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.